Good morning student, I am very happy to see you after a long time. So in this video we discussed is matter around us pure. So at first, what is the definition of purity? Because definition of purity according to common people or ordinary people is little bit differ from the scientist's view, because common people think that if a matter do not consist any type of unwanted impurities or adulterations are termed as basically pure substance according to normal people or common people, like ghee, milk, cheese, butter. All of these substances are basically in domestic level we termed as pure substance, but according to scientific view these substances or these matters are not pure, because the definition of purity in chemistry is little bit differ from the general point of view. Like pure matters, according to chemistry, pure matters are those which cannot be further divided into different substances by any physical or any mechanical method. So the definition of purity is little bit differ from the common definition of purity. So matter which are basic of our universe is found in two different forms according to their purity. These are pure matter or pure substances and impure matter or impure substances. Pure matters are those which cannot be further divided into different substances by any physical or mechanical method, and elements and compounds both are pure matter, because elements are formed by only single type of particle, whereas compounds are formed by elements in simple ratios and by some chemical reaction. It means कि if elements join together and react together and form a new product, that product is compound. It means in compound basically elements are present, and the smaller particle of elements are atom and smaller particles of compound are molecules. So atoms join together by some chemical forces and form one stable unit. That stable unit is known as molecule. So molecules or atoms of molecules do not separated by simple physical method. If we want to separate these atoms from a molecule, then we must have to apply one chemical process, and if these atoms just separated in a molecule, then the nature of molecule is completely changed, because their atoms get separated from each other. In case of sulfuric acid, where two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of sulfur and 4 atoms of oxygen are joined together by a strong force of attraction. That strong force of attraction is known as chemical bonding. So chemical bonding is basically defined as the force of attraction between two atoms within a molecule. So, and that force of attraction cannot be break down with the help of some physical process or some mechanical process. If we have to break that chemical bond, so we must have to apply one chemical process. So in case of sulfuric acid, sulfur is in center and other 4 oxygen and hydrogen are like this. So in one molecule of sulfuric acid, sulfur joined with oxygen, here again sulfur joined with oxygen, sulfur joined with oxygen, it means sulfur is in center, again oxygen with single bond, hydrogen with single bond here, again like this. So this one is one molecule of sulfuric acid. If we have to break down one or more atoms from this unit, then the chemical nature of this substance must be changed or completely changed. It means कि molecules are a stable unit which cannot be further divided by simple physical method. आप जब तक इसके अंदर कोई केमिकल मेथड हम अप्लाई नहीं करेंगे तब तक इस मॉलिक्यूल यूनिट को आप ब्रेक डाउन नहीं कर सकते हो सिंपलर में. सो सच सब्सटेंसेस विच आर फॉर्म्ड बाय 2 or more than 2 type of materials are also termed as pure matter in chemistry. It means कि pure matters are basically our elements and compounds. Elements are fundamental of that universe. Actually elements are formed, we can say that elements are basically star dust, because all elements are formed in star by fusion process, and these elements are simple unit of the matter. And on earth basically these elements have some reactive nature, and due to their reactive nature they react together and form a new stable units. These units are known as compounds, and their smaller units are called molecules. Now if we talk about impure matter, then the definition of impurity, like for our common environment or common people say that impure matter, it means those matter which consist unwanted impurities are impure. But here impure matter, it means if we mix 2 or more than 2 materials together and form one things like new things, but that material is not completely differ from their parent one. वो अपने पेरेंट से कंप्लीट डिफर नहीं करते हैं. साथ ही साथ ऑल फिजिकल एंड केमिकल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ देयर पेरेंट्स आर प्रेजेंट इन देयर नेक्स्ट फॉर्म. सो नेक्स्ट फॉर्म जो भी फॉर्म्ड वो करते हैं तो उनके पेरेंट के प्रॉपर्टीज उसमें अवेलेबल होते हैं. साथ ही साथ जो भी इम्प्योर मैटर्स जिसको कि हम मिक्सचर बोलते हैं, तो उनमें जो वैल्यूज़ होते हैं जिनको कि आप कंस्टिट्यूएंट पार्टिकल्स बोलते हो और कंपोनेंट्स हम बोलते हैं. सो दिस रेशियो ऑफ दिस कंस्टिट्यूएंट पार्टिकल्स आर नॉट फिक्स्ड हियर. दे मे बी वेरी विद इन अ रेंज. It means they can change. Like for example, if we make juice of water and sugar. So suppose we take 1 teaspoon in 1 glass water. Someone put 2 teaspoon in 1 glass of water. So in all these cases, basically sugar juice is prepared here. So in all these cases, different juice is prepared. So आप एक अगर जूस लोगे तो वो थोड़ा सा कम मीठा लगेगा, दूसरे वाले में हमको देखते हैं कि जो स्वीटनेस है वो ज़्यादा यहाँ पे मिल रहा है. इट मीन्स कि जो उनके कंपोजिशंस हैं और जो उनके कंस्टिट्यूएंट्स हैं वो फिक्स्ड नहीं है. लाइक इन केस ऑफ मिल्क, कि आप अगर किसी एक गाय से अगर हम मिल्क लेते हैं तो उसमें फैट एंड वाटर के रेशियोज कुछ अलग होते हैं, दूसरे में कुछ अलग होते हैं, इसलिए कुछ मिल्क जो होता है वो थोड़ा पतला होता है, ठीक, और वहीं पे कुछ दूध जो होता है वो गाढ़ा होता है. तो गाढ़ा होने और पतला होने का मेन कारण क्या है कि यहाँ पे वाटर एंड फैट के जो रेशियोज हैं वो चेंज हो रहे हैं यहाँ पे. सो सच मटेरियल्स आर टर्म्ड एज इम्प्योर मटेरियल्स. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू केमिस्ट्री, मिल्क, घी, fat, cheese, all of these are impure materials because they consist 2 or more than 2 different type of materials. Now these mixture or impure materials are basically of 2 types: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixtures are those mixture in which ratio of their constituent particles are constant over all the solution mixture, over all the mixture. So such mixtures are termed as homogeneous mixture. So homogeneous, it means samangi. The material present in that mixture is uniformly mixed over all the solution. For example, if we take one bucket full of water and some sugar, and just we take 10 different samples from that bucket. So we observe that the ratio of sugar and water in each sample is constant here. It means that particular solution of sugar and water must be homogeneous in nature, because the ratio of their constituent particle is constant over all the solution mixture. In case of heterogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixtures are those in which ratio of their constituent particles are not constant over all the mixture. Suppose we take one bag full of rice and just take each 5 gram sample, 10 samples of each 5 gram value, and just count the number of rice and number of stone present in each sample. So we see that in each sample number of rice and stone is not constant. In each sample it is not constant. It means mixture of rice and stone must be one heterogeneous mixture, because their constituent particles are not in constant ratio or not in a fixed ratio. So such are heterogeneous, and also heterogeneous mixtures consist two different phases or more than two different phases, and homogeneous mixtures must consist one single phase, and the nature of homogeneous mixture completely depend upon those material which taken in large amount, and the nature of heterogeneous material depends upon both. It means which taken in large amount and which taken in small amount. So the nature of heterogeneous mixture depend upon both, because कि heterogeneous consist two different phases. So दोनों के ही values इसको इफेक्टेड करते हैं, एंड होमोजेनस के केस में वो सिंगल फेज को एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. अगर वो दो डिफरेंट फेज वाले भी हैं तो आफ्टर मिक्सिंग दे अटेन अ न्यू फेज, एंड दैट फेज इज मस्ट बी अ सिंगल फेज. सो दैट टाइप ऑफ मटेरियल्स आर टर्म्ड एज homogeneous mixture. And the second one, which have two or more than two different phases, are termed as heterogeneous mixture. Like in case of milk, milk is a heterogeneous mixture. Why it is heterogeneous mixture? Because it consists two different phases. Like milk consists water and fat basically. So water is in their liquid state or liquid phase, whereas fat is in their solid phase. So milk is basically one heterogeneous mixture, and homogeneous mixtures are those which consist only single phase. This element is classified on the basis of their physical state as solid element, liquid element and gaseous element, and on the basis of their chemical characteristics these elements are classified as metal, non-metal and metalloids. Whereas compounds are classified on the basis of their bond or types of bond. As we discussed later, compounds are basically formed by elements or mixing atoms, and the force of attraction between two atoms is defined as chemical bonding. So depending upon their nature of bonding, compounds are classified as ionic compounds and covalent compounds, and the third one is coordinate compounds. So depending upon the bond nature, there are three types of compound, and depending upon their occurrence, it means where they are found. Like some compounds found in living sources, whereas some compounds found in non-living sources, or like earth crust or from sea water. So those compounds which are obtained from living sources and basically consist carbon and hydrogen and a trace amount of oxygen, nitrogen and sulfur are hydrocarbons or organic compounds. So on the basis of their occurrence, compounds are classified as organic compound and inorganic compounds. So organic compounds are those which are obtained from living sources, and inorganic it means which are obtained from earth crust. So basically inorganic compounds are ionic in nature and organic compounds are covalent in nature. Now elements which are further classified as metal, non-metal and metalloids depending upon their chemical behavior. So metals have some specific chemical behavior, like there are different types of reaction, or all metals except some of them like sodium, maximum metals or all metals are very rigid or hard, because atoms of metal joined together by strong force of attraction known as metallic forces, and due to that strong metallic forces, atoms of metal joined together and form a rigid crystalline structure, and due to their rigid crystalline structure they are malleable, ductile, also sonorous. Malleable or malleability, it means a property of metal by which it can converted into thin sheet by hammering it. So in Hindi actually malleability is termed as aghat vardhaniya. It means कि after hammering you can stretch. So if we hammered on that particular matter and it spread like a thin sheet, then such property or such property is explained as malleability property. Actually all metals are highly malleable. Actually gold is highly malleable metal because it can form a thin sheet by hammering. We can form a thin sheet by hammering, but actually in case of non-metal, malleability is not found, because in case of non-metals, atoms joined together by weak forces. That weak forces are either covalent force or some van der Waals forces, which is a type of physical force. So non-metals are not malleable. If we hammer on a non-metal, then it break down into smaller pieces. It do not form a thin sheet by hammering. Metals are also ductile. Ductility is also another property by which it can form a thin wire or by long wire by stretching it. So this property, ductility properties, are also introduced in metal due to their strong force of attraction between their atom particles, and their atom particles join together in crystalline bonds or crystalline structure, and that crystalline structure is very rigid. If we hammer, then their atoms do not separate, they just move from their initial phase or initial state. So just they move. It means they can form easily a sheet, or if we stretch it, then they form easily one wire. Metals are also good conductor of heat and electricity. So why metals are good conductor of heat and electricity? Because in metals, atoms join together by strong forces and they are very close together. So if we heat a material in one side, then their atoms start vibrating. In case of metal, that vibration transfer in neighboring atoms. So by transferring this energy, a metal becomes a good conductor of heat, because it can transfer heat energy in the form of vibration. Metals are also good conductor of electricity because they consist either 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence orbit, and their electrons are basically mobile electrons. It means कि जो metals होते हैं इनके outer orbit में either 1, 2 और 3 electrons होते हैं, and these are mobile electrons. Mobile electrons it means कि उन इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के ऊपर न्यूक्लियस का जो अट्रैक्शन है वो बहुत ही वीक होता है. तो अगर न्यूक्लियस का अट्रैक्शन अगर किसी इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के ऊपर अगर वीक है, तो वैसे केस में वो बैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन इजीली माइग्रेट कर सकता है सिस्टम में. सो जितने भी मेटल्स होते हैं इन सभी के आयोनाइजेशन पोटेंशियल वैल्यू लेस होते हैं, जिसके कारण ये इलेक्ट्रॉन इजीली इजेक्ट करता है सिस्टम में. सो ऑल मेटल्स आर गुड कंडक्टर ऑफ electricity because they consist mobile electron, like copper, like gold, like iron, like silver. All metals have mobile electron and all are good conductor of electricity. In case of non-metals are bad conductor or insulator of heat and electricity both, because in case of non-metals, their atoms join together in not a particular way. इट मीन्स कि उनके जो पार्टिकल्स होते हैं वो एक दूसरे के साथ रेगुलर अरेंजमेंट को फॉलो नहीं करते हैं. कि मेटल्स एटम्स are present in a crystalline regular form, whereas in case of non-metals their atoms do not arranged in a regular manner. So there is a gapping between two or more than two atoms. आप देखेंगे कि उसमें दो एटम्स और इनके बीच में गैपिंग्स क्रिएट हो रहा है. तो क्या होता है कि अगर आप इसको हीट करते हो तो वाइब्रेशन वो अपने नाइबोरिंग एटम्स में ट्रांसफर नहीं कर सकते हैं, और इसका कारण है इरेगुलर अरेंजमेंट ऑफ एटम. सो ड्यू टू इरेगुलर अरेंजमेंट ऑफ एटम इन non-metals are basically bad conductor of heat, and metals are good conductor of heat due to regular arrangement or due to crystalline arrangement, whereas non-metals are also bad conductor of electricity or insulator, because in non-metals basically all non-metal consist either 4 or more than 4 electrons in their valence orbit, and these electrons are strongly bounded with nucleus. So there is no way to eject electron in free space और इन मैटर, ओवरऑल मैटर, तो वो वहाँ पे फ्री नहीं हो सकता है. सो ड्यू टू दिस रीजन ऑल नॉन मेटल्स आर इंसुलेटर और बैड कंडक्टर, वेयर एज मेटल्स आर गुड कंडक्टर. In case of metalloids or semi-metals, these are also known as borderline elements. So why they are called borderline elements? Because their all characteristics are lies between metal and non-metal. So they are known as borderline elements because their characteristics lies between metal and non-metal. Metals, as we discussed, like malleable hold malleable property, ductility property, good conductor of heat and electricity, sonorous property. So metals have all these properties, but non-metals are not malleable, not ductile, not good conductor, and in case of metalloids, their characteristics lies between metal and non-metal. So they are also known as borderline elements.